All right, here we go. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Big Boss Man Roundtable. I am the number one chief rocker Knicks universe. Your main man, Uncle Freezy, coming through to talk that talk the way that y'all like to have that talk to y'all. I'm joined by the Big Boss Man himself. Woodshed 1914 is in the building. What's good,
Man,
boss?
what's going on, bro? What's going on? Right off the bat, let's get to it, man. Controversial statement of the day. In terms of title contention, the season is cooked. It is cooked. It is cooked. Like a roast beef that's been in the oven too long. It's tough. It tastes like beef jerky. It's cooked.
Oh,
Like it's cooked, bro. It's cooked. It's cooked. So many layers to this cake, man. I don't know where to begin. So I tell you where we
dang.
can begin. All right. I want you to help me, right? I'm gonna give you the next 10 games. When I give you the game, I want you to give me L or W. All right.
All
So
right.
next we got Golden State coming in.
uh, Thursday, right?
Yep.
With no OG and Anobi, right?
No Ananobi, no Randall, probably no Hardenstein, maybe no Brunson.
Uh, when you say maybe no Brunson, I gotta say L.
Okay, we go to Cleveland. Ooh.
Oh, um, I'm gonna say L.
I got that as a L. I got it as a L too. So that's 0 and 2, right? We got Atlanta at home. I think that's a W. Um, I don't know. I think we just in their heads for some reason. Then we got Orlando at home.
I think that's a L.
That's a L. I mean, I think then we got back to back at home against the Sixers. They'll win those two. Portland, that's a win.
Well.
Sacramento.
The thing is, if we beat Philly back to back, that might deep six their season.
Oh, they're done. They're done.
Yeah. I think
It's,
if we cook
it's
Philly and beat them back to back.
because they would slide. They're looking at like I'm gonna tell you. So that's two W's. Portland is a W. Sacramento, I got that as an L.
Yeah,
At Golden
'cause
State,
it's
I
on the
got that as
road.
an L.
I got that as
Yep.
an L too because they
And
on
then
that
you
West
got
Coast trip.
at Denver on the
That's an
road,
L.
not
That's
LP.
an L.
That's an L. So you're looking at one, two, three, four. So it's 4 and 6.
All right.
Um, now, if for some miraculous reason we get, let's say, OG and Randall back for after that Portland game, then yeah, they can beat Sacramento and beat Golden State and Denver. But
It's
I
not
mean, like,
likely. Still, it's not likely. Those are good
yeah,
teams. Those are playoff caliber teams, though.
yeah, yeah. So, man, it's a slippery slope because if you look at the standings right now, Miami has snuck up right behind the Knicks.
Bro, come on,
Right,
man. Come on, man. You know it's late February. You
they,
already
they,
knew this was
this
coming
is
from
what,
Miami.
yeah, this is what they. I think they're 33 and 25, and I think the Knicks are
This this
35 and 24.
this is what Miami does, bro.
So the danger is right now we're sitting right there in that fourth seed. We don't have tie. I said this last week. We don't have tiebreaker versus Orlando or Indiana.
Right.
Miami is coming. So, bro, that's if you're not careful, that's the play in. And I know a lot
You
of
wait a
this
minute.
is,
You're saying all the goodwill in this season can come down to one win or go home game.
yep, it could. It could. And listen, for probably the whole month of January, they were the team to beat in the entire league. I mean, some people say Cleveland, but I think that what we did during that stretch was more impressive because of who we beat versus who they played. Now, I'm not taking nothing away from them. Crazy run. Mitchell should be an MVP candidate, but if we being real, and I mean 100% real, I mean they were the best team in the league for that whole month. Like they were the bully on the block. Now it's almost like the Lord has a sense of humor and said, okay, y'all getting a little bit too hyped. Let me go and calm y'all down. And he pressed the button, and all of a sudden things kind of start shaking a little bit because now they are like, I don't want to be in the play-in. And the reason I want to be in the play-in is because what happens if you're in the play-in and Hardenstein, he aggravates his Achilles again. Randall has a shoulder pop out of place again. OG
Yeah.
has elbow soreness again. Like, you out of
Wait,
here.
wait. These were my concerns in January, at the end of January, and people told me that I was Chicken Little. They told
Yeah.
me I was claiming that the sky was falling. Relax, Uncle Freezy. We just got to tread water, Uncle Freezy. Relax. You putting bad juju on us, Uncle Freezy. Relax, Uncle Freezy. That's what I was
And we
told.
and we 3-7 in the last 10 games. I get the injuries. I get it. I get it. But the reality is 3-7 in the last 10 games. That is not good. Then you're looking at the stretch where you got Golden State at Cleveland, Atlanta at home, Orlando, who already got a tiebreaker, has our number. Then you get Philly, Portland, Sacramento, tough team, Golden State, and Denver. Like, that's not good. Like, I think 50 wins is out of the window. Like, we can kill that. Like, that's dead. You know what
So
I'm
we
saying?
can't. So you're saying we can't win 15. We can't go 15-8 down the stretch.
Ain't looking like it. Not with the way the team look right now. Because with the guys out, no chance. So the reality is you're probably looking at a play-in matchup off the bat versus Chicago or Atlanta. Which if the team is healthy, I think they can win that hands down. No problem. Easily. But if they ain't healthy, it's a
If
toss
they're
up.
if they're healthy and we play like we can play, you're talking about a first round matchup against Boston.
Nah, you with me.
Yeah.
Man, that's why I say as far as contention, season might be cooked. And it's not cooked because they didn't bring in the players they needed to bring in to compete this season. It's cooked because of the injuries. So, which begs the question, what do you do? Because if we being honest, we took every bit of young talent on the roster and liquidated it. And just to be real, it came down to OG and Precious, Burks, and Bogdanovich. That's who all of our, and when I say all of our young talent, no disrespect to Deuce, that's RJ, Quickly, and Grimes. We liquidated that. The byproduct is Ananobi, Achua, Bogdanovich,
And Burke.
and anybody that's being real looked at the Detroit game and saw Quentin Grimes have a bigger impact than Burks and Bogdanovich combined.
Okay.
That's anybody that's willing to be real about it. He had a bigger impact in that game than both of those dudes combined. And Burks, I was in favor of bringing him back, but he's been horrible.
Yeah.
Like he's looked like somebody that, you know how you get those players that you can tell when they just lost it. That's how he looks since he's been back. Now he didn't
Mhm.
look like that in Detroit, but that's how he looks since he's been back. The shooting percentage is in the toilet, assist
Right.
to turnovers in the toilet, defense is hit or miss at best. Like
Okay.
in essence, they took a swing this year, and because of the injuries, I mean they're not going to benefit from it. Man. Like it's just frustrating because you won't see them reap the full benefits just simply based on the fact that they literally don't have the guys. It's February. We have time to ramp up for playoffs and worry about seeding, and we got G leaguers being called up to fill rotation spots.
Right.
So the question remains: what can they do?
Right. Uh,
I mean, I'm not sure because the situation kind of is what it is. But like, if we being honest, this team is in free fall. Like they're in free fall. If they lose to Golden State, that's 3-8 in your last 11 games. You lose to Cleveland, that's 3-9 in your last 12 games. Like that ain't good. That ain't good.
So
That's
so
so.
so what are we saying? Ultimately, like what are we getting at? Are we saying the roster is not good enough to sustain major injuries? Are we saying the trades were not good enough to help provide the roster with buoyancy while we had three major injuries? Are we saying that maybe we overrated our talent? Or are we saying we had a mid-season hot streak? Is that what we're saying?
It's really all of that combined, and I think that we talked about it during the winning, and we talked about how you got guys like DiVincenzo playing 38 minutes, averaging 25. Like certain things just aren't sustainable, and the streak, while I think it was legitimate, there were things shortly afterward, towards the end of it, that just simply weren't sustainable. Like I don't care who you are, Jalen Brunson being out and these soft tissue injuries, it's a result of him playing 40 minutes. Like it's bound to happen. You're a
Right.
6 foot guard and you're playing 40 minutes. So just as we said before, it's not sustainable. Like Preston Chua is being very productive, but he's playing 40 minutes. Like how can you sustain um, longevity over the stretch of 30 plus games, and dudes are playing 40 plus minutes?
Role
So I
players.
think exactly, and you remember I texted you the other day and I said, look, I said we have to slow down on how we rate some of these role players. And don't get me wrong, Hardenstein having a great year. But while he's better on offense, he's not Mitchell Robinson, right? He's not Mitchell Robinson. Um, I think it also exposes that when it comes to the wing position, we're definitely not there.
It's like Arkansas basketball is not Kentucky basketball, right? No matter how good Arkansas basketball get at times, they'll never be Kentucky, right? Is that what it's like? No. No, it's like
Yeah.
Arkansas football. No matter how good Arkansas football is, they'll never be Alabama. Is that kind of like what it is? Or is it like kind of like the SEC West is not really good at sports like the SEC East? They just get one hot team occasionally. Is that what it's like?
Man, he firing some shots.
No, I'm saying is that no, man. I ain't trying to start no trouble, bro. I'm just asking for an example.
Man, listen, I put it this way. Um, how can I put it?
And
I,
I saw something somewhere where it was like Mitchell Robinson and Isaiah Hartenstein are like best friends.
oh yeah, they're gonna be that way until I get offered more money. You know what I'm saying?
Well, yeah,
And
that may be true. That may be true.
like because he's gonna get offered a bag, and I don't think that even Ian Begley said he sees on no planet where the Knicks paid Robinson, Hardenstein, and bring Achua back. So I think it's kind of gonna come down to who between Precious and iHeart really, unless they're willing to trade Mitch. Which, if you're trying to trade for a major player, you almost have to have Mitch come back and be healthy and be a part of that because otherwise, I don't see it. But they're not going to pay out three of those guys. So being in a situation where everybody stays, it's not an option.
I think Ian Begley maybe overstepped right there.
Think so?
Yeah, I don't see a world where you keep Precious, OG, and Hartenstein, but you also keep Burks and Bogdanovich, right? I think the Bogdanovich money, the Burks money, is where you upgrade for legit playmakers. You know what I'm saying? Some younger, energetic, more diverse talent, right? For instance, I can see a world where they trade Bogey and Burks and then use that 30 or so million dollars, right? That 30 or so million dollars to bring in, and stay with me, first round pick guys that can dribble, pass, and shoot, and give that $30 million to Precious and Hartenstein, right? So for instance, basically what I'm getting at is I could see Burks and Bogdanovich leaving, especially if we don't win a championship or if we don't make the Eastern Conference Finals. I can see both of them being gone, paying Hartenstein, paying Mitch, paying Precious, paying OG, right? Because you're gonna give OG Anunoby the RJ Barrett money anyway, right? And so I could see a world where Precious gets 10, Hartenstein maybe gets 12, 13, 14. You have about 5 million left over, right? And then you draft legit 3-and-D wings out the draft.
Can I be honest?
That's what I expect. I expect you to
Well,
keep it
well,
a
well,
stack.
well, well,
You always
well,
keep it a stack.
let me say this. We can't keep paying backups. Like like man, we can't keep paying backups. We already got Hart, who essentially is a backup, making almost 20 million.
Right.
Right? We can't go out there and pay Isaiah Harden 13 million. Can't. And then
Right.
pay Precious 8-9 million. Like you, at some point, you got to cycle in some young talent again, man. Like whether that's using the draft picks or trading the draft picks. Like we all have this hope that okay, by adding these substantial dollar amount contracts, we can use them to move for a bigger deal. But we're gonna be going into the fifth season, and it ain't happened yet. Right? It hasn't happened yet. The moves that are made take contracts and trade them for smaller contracts. Like if we have Mitch, who's on the descending contract, I think he goes down to 12. Like, and we pay his backup 12, and then we got Randall who's making 27 next year, I think, who's up for a payday, and then we pay his backup 8. Like, it just don't add up. Like we got. I'm not saying use the draft pick, but I mean, oh man, like we got the most expensive bench in the league, probably.
Right. Right.
Probably got the most expensive bench in the league. And if you look at it, I can't point to many long term solutions on it. You know what I'm saying? Like
Right.
Bogdanovich not a long term solution. Burke's
No,
not a
he'll be
long term
35
solution.
this summer.
You got Deuce. I mean, like, but who besides Deuce on the bench? You got Deuce and Hart, and then I mean Dante's a starter right now. Is that going to be the long term answer to two? I
Whew.
don't know.
Great question.
If you say yes, he's a long term answer to two. Okay, now you need another shooter off the bench. So OG's getting paid. So it just I don't. If I saw the means to make a move or to upgrade with keeping this mostly intact, I'd be all for it. But I don't.
I think we
So
feel that. I think we feel that way because we don't see Randall, OG, and Mitch. Once we see
yeah,
Randall, OG, and Mitch on the floor, I think our purview will change.
yeah. Well, I just got the update said league found no misapplication. The Knicks lost that
Yeah, I
protest.
saw it.
Wow,
Yeah, they know the Knicks. They know they
wow,
did.
wow.
Right. They just don't like the logistics, bro. You know what I'm saying? They don't like admitting mistakes. This
Yeah,
the NBA does not like admitting clear mistakes, bro. Because it opens Pandora's box. Because if they overturn that, then now everybody's gonna be rushing to the altar and bringing tape. Because
mm,
Detroit could legit do the same thing to us from the other night.
mm, yeah. Because I mean, but if you overturn that Houston decision, you gotta overturn the decision in New York, and that's
Yeah,
probably L. That's
yeah,
probably L. And I'm like, you
yeah.
know, we we got to be consistent, and
Right.
it's one thing. The one decision where I'm glad the refs didn't blow the whistle because it was a foul, and I know he was going for the ball, but I mean, you pretty much put dude in the figure four leg lock, and they didn't call it. So, I mean,
Pretty much.
yeah, but I mean, it shouldn't have been that close with Detroit anyway. I mean,
Yeah.
just being honest.
Let me ask you this. So, how are things on X? Knicks fans on X are calm, cool, and collected now. They're kumbaya. Everybody on X is like in a happy place.
Nah, they deflated right now, man, because of the report that came out that they said, well, they said that OG's gonna be back mid March, and now he might not be. So
Yeah.
I mean, we looking at legitimately missing the next 5 or 6 games, for sure, with the skeleton crew. And then Ian Begley also said that he was told that if there was any way that Brunson could have played last night, he would have. So that means he was
Yeah.
out.
Yeah.
So him being out is concerning.
That means he may be out tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean, if you don't play, I can't be mad because it's a greater thing at stake, man. It just may mean that you playing for the play instead of trying to claw and scratch to the second seed.
What is there a scenario? Is there a worst case scenario where maybe the Knicks missed the playoffs altogether?
If they're losing the play in, and then you
No.
sitting there with,
No, I'm talking about not making the play in.
oh no, I don't think so. Um,
Okay.
I want to say they're like 7 or 8 games ahead of the 10 seed, and I think the 11th seed has like 24, 25 wins, so they like 9, 10. Man, if they fall,
What
if they,
but you said Brunson is hurt, right?
yeah, I mean it's mathematically possible. It's highly unlikely, but it is mathematically possible with the amount
Okay.
of games they got left. And
Kind of like the Razorbacks beating the Gamecocks in Columbia.
man,
Is
stop.
anything is possible, but it's highly unlikely. Is that what it is?
Man, listen, give us 1 more year, man. Give
Yo,
us 1 more year.
1 year away,
But
right?
always 1 year away.
Right,
But
right.
yeah, they it's mathematically possible for them to fall all the way out. I don't think it's likely because they would have to. I mean, they would have to go on like a 9, 8, 9 game losing streak, which I don't see them doing that bad, but it's possible. But if that happens,
What
then
about 3 of 15? Can you see
oh,
that?
somebody got to be fired. Like it's. I mean, I don't see them going 2021 again where they like, oh, we had injuries. Nah, because you made the biggest trade in the NBA this year.
Yeah.
The biggest trade in the NBA you made. And if you go from that to being out of the playoffs, nah, man. People pay with their job.
Even with injuries though.
Even with injuries, like somebody gonna pay with their job, bro. I don't because the outrage is gonna be not that you had injuries, it's gonna be that you shouldn't have made the trade in the first place. And it's gonna be how on earth did this guy have a long term elbow injury and y'all not discover it?
Or saw it because they saw the medicals. The
Yeah,
NBA
how did
teams
it
have
not come
to.
up?
Yeah,
They had to share the medical.
and OG Anunoby had to pass a physical in
Yeah,
order for the trade to go through. So they may have saw it and was like, maybe he can play through it.
yeah, it was. It's that's why it's gonna be so many questions about decisions that were made or were not made. That it's gonna be heads rolling, bro. I firmly believe there will be heads rolling. I,
You know who the head that should roll, or the number one, the responsible for this February swoon, the guy that's always responsible for the February swoons. I don't want to say without research that Tom Thibodeau is always we always go through this in February with Tibbs, but it sure feels like it.
Well,
So
he should pay for it. You know why? Because he made the decision to play people 40 minutes.
yeah,
It was his decision. It was on him. He decided that.
right.
Yeah, I mean, he decided not to spell players and prevent playing in 40 minutes. So he got to own that.
It feels like it. I may be wrong with that, right? But I'm gonna check. I'm gonna research it in real time, man, just to see if this thing is really a thing. So
Yeah, but he chose voluntarily to play players, even in blowouts. We'd be up 15 in the fourth quarter, 7 minutes left, and he chose to keep playing guys. Like, so this is what happens. Like, remember we had a conversation about 3 weeks ago. We said, look, dude averaging 38 minutes. This guy averaging 40 minutes. Yeah, we winning, but this is not sustainable. Now people are breaking down. I mean, it should be expected. It should straight up be expected, bro. So
right,
here we are.
right.
Here we are, man. So it's on him to fix it because it's his job that's on the line. And his paychecks are determined by what transpires over the next 40 days. So I mean, I know it's people hate to turn next man mentality, but he got to find a way. He got
Right.
to find a way. And the reality is, we played our last 10 games. We 3-7 tonight. We got Golden State coming up. They say there might be an L. We got Cleveland at Cleveland. There might be an L. So you're looking at a nasty stretch. A nasty stretch. So I get it that we have injuries, but somebody gonna be held accountable if this team fizzles out. Whether it's fair or
Okay.
not fair, somebody gonna be held accountable.
Right. Right. So last February, the Knicks were hot. So that's not true. What I said. Last February, the Knicks were. Oh, wait a minute. Before I say that, let me. Okay. So the Knicks were 9-2 in February of golly, man, all these commercials, bro, these ads, right? But so last February, the Knicks were 9-2, right? All right, and 2021, the Knicks were 9-5 in so my mistake, everybody. But
Well, we went
it
14
seems
and
like
2 in January this year. So
yeah,
if we went
yeah,
14 and 2 in January, it kind of offsets a bit because it evens out to having a good record, but the bleeding has to stop. If we don't stop this free fall, January was all for nothing, bro. It
yeah.
was all for nothing. So I mean, if we discuss, let's say we discuss the worst case scenario, and I don't even want to put this out there, but we got to talk about it. If for whatever reason, let's say we fall to the seventh seed and we get knocked out completely, right? And you're sitting there with a lottery pick, and you're sitting there with the Dallas pick. It, that I mean, it sucks because you were out of the playoffs, but at the same time, you have a huge decision to make
Right.
because at some point we got to replenish the bench because our top two bench players outside of Josh Hart are up for a payday. You know what I'm saying? And then you got Brunson and Randall, who in the next 12 months they're gonna be up for a payday.
All right, for the
So
extension, yeah.
and you
Yeah.
got to keep in mind too that they're going to pay OG like we should all physically remove
the entire front office if they don't pay OG because you shot your shot with him. You shot
Right.
your shot with him. So that should be automatic. Precious was a pleasant surprise, but I don't want to get too far ahead.
I think I like Malachi Flynn also, bro.
I liked him. I think he was the perfect guy to have as your third point guard. I really do.
Yeah.
Um, I think in terms of a reliable backup, I think the biggest difference between him and a Tyus Jones is Tyus has gotten the opportunity, and Malachi really, for whatever reason, has not.
His shot is inconsistent.
Yeah, that's true.
That's the
That's true.
only difference, in my
Yeah.
opinion. Shout out to Rel. We talk Mavs in the building. Salute, salute.
What's going on?
Hey
The
Rel,
Mavs got some
I
surprise.
gotta talk to you about something. It's urgent, bro. So whenever you get a chance. But yeah, whatever. I hate to think that the sky is falling, but I was feeling this way as soon as Randall got hurt. And I didn't speak up much to say much to it because y'all already know that I'm a Julius Randle fanboy, right? So anytime something happened with Randall, y'all know I panic, right? But now I think it feels like maybe it's something to it, right? Like what if Brunson is more hurt than we think? And you really and no disrespect to the Knicks front office and how they handle medical disclosure, but the week before we knew OG Anunoby had surgery, OG Anunoby was a game time decision all that first week he was out until we found out that he was having elbow surgery right when we traded for Burks and Bogdanovich. They packaged both sets of news at the same time.
Yeah,
Right. So we wouldn't overreact to OG being out
that's what it
for
was.
you know what I'm saying?
And to me, I felt some kind of way about that because they, I mean, they knew that what was going on with OG. They knew he was going to be out for an extended period of time. So they were like, okay, let us announce that we traded our last young talent for 34 going on 35 wings and Alec Burks. Let's announce that first, and then all of a sudden, then let's go ahead and drop the bombshell. Because to me, that took the wind out of myself. I'm like, okay, I know Randall out, but OG can hold it down at the four. You know what I'm saying? We got Bogdan can step in and help with
Or
minutes at the
Precious could
three.
have held it down at the 4 where you can
Right,
play OG at the 3. Yeah.
right. And then now it's like, I mean, as soon as I saw that, I was like
Nick
really,
fan
man,
Nick, we can't have nothing good, bro.
like we can't have nothing nice. Can't have nothing nice. Not for a sustained period of time.
Right.
It just don't work. It just don't work in our favor. It never does. So, I mean,
Right.
just it's frustrating. Man. It's frustrating.
Right. Right. Right.
Little man, kids just got home.
I got a Gamecock jersey, bro, if you need one, bro.
Nah, man. I'm gonna tell you the truth though.
And when
When I was,
you're maroon, white, and black. No, maroon,
I'm
black,
tell
white,
you,
silver. No.
I'm gonna tell you, Charlie Strong is my frat brother, and he is a very, very, very good guy.
Yeah.
And he almost got me to try and get to USC. Almost, he almost got me because he was the DC at the time under Lou Holtz, and
Yeah.
then they had my Dondrell Pinckney, another frat brother, was a QB over there.
Yeah,
Shout out to
Dondrell Pinkins,
Dondrell.
shotgun
Mm-hmm.
quarterback sneak under Lou
Yep,
Holtz.
yep,
Him
yep.
and Derek
And,
Watson.
and but that era of South Carolina football was, to me, was my favorite, even over the Spurrier era because they used to hit, man. They used to have dogs, Eric Norwood,
Yep.
like they had
Yep.
some dogs on that team, man.
Yep.
So shout out to them. Shout out
Yeah,
to
my
them.
um I used to take my son to the spring game. You know, at the spring game, they said the players to sit outside the gate first before they
Yeah,
go and get
yeah.
dressed or whatever. You can walk around and mingle with the players. And so there was like this 2 or 3 year tradition that my youngest son, like they couldn't start the spring game until my youngest son spilled some nachos. Because
Mm.
the first time it happened, right? He was a little shorty, like walking through with his nachos. and everybody there, and he walked through and somebody bumped him and nachos and cheese went everywhere, right? And so they were like, "Oh man, there's somebody!" And so somebody ran to the concession stand, man, bought Junior, some nachos and all of that stuff. And then the very next year, ironic, in the same spot, in the very same spot, they out there signing the program for the spring game, right? Out there signing the programs for the spring game. And Junior walks through, and this time he trips and nachos go everywhere, right? And they're like, "Yo, didn't this happen last year?" And he was like, "Yep." And then so the very next year after that, somebody comes along and it's like a crowd. You know how the cheerleaders stand on the side and people run through and all that stuff? Well, everybody was going this way, that somebody cut sideways. Like, you know how the cheerleaders stand on the side while you walk into the spring game? They there just shaking their cheerleaders. Somebody cut through and bumped him. Nachos and stuff went everywhere. And the whole time, every time that happened, the Gamecocks had a winning season.
Wow.
So the one time, the very next year after that, he don't spill nachos, right? And the Gamecocks don't have a winning season.
Wow. Nacho.
Yeah, man. So that's our running joke, bro. The only time that it don't matter what the coach is or how we upgrade the facilities. If Junior don't spill nachos, bro, the Gamecocks ain't winning.
I'm gonna tell you, like, it's funny. Like, my daughter, she's 9 now, but she used to watch sports with me all the time. And until recently, watching Knicks games with her was fun until she learned how to count.
Yeah.
And then once she started learning how to count, she would say, "Why does GSW have 90 and NYK has 61?" And then she heard me say the term trash. So it got to a point, and this is especially true during the Chad Morris era, Razorback football, where, and even my 4-year-old son, when he sees a logo, a Razorback football logo, you know what he says? Trash.
Trash.
Trash. She's trash. And it got to the same point with the Knicks and the Giants. So my daughter, every time she sees it, like, that's trash. But now she can learn how to count, and she can see that, they win a lot of games. So now it's a little different. But
it's a little different. So she don't remember the Mac Jones era.
She don't.
Okay.
She don't.
That might have been before her time, right? Mac Jones.
Mac Jones.
That might have been like 2004. For those that don't remember, Mac Jones.
Matt was 2000 and he was 2007. 2003.
Okay.
Well, no, it was 04. It was the 03-04 season when his last year.
Okay.
Because McFadden came the next year.
Right.
04-05.
Yeah, man.
So
him and Felix Jones
running through everything, man. Man, for 321 on South Carolina, Spurrier left the man off the Heisman now. Yeah, Hillis was on that team. Yep. Yeah, all three of them dudes got drafted into the league.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. But hey, man.
So I'm gonna just ask you this one quick thing before we get out of here, right? So what's the solution for all of this? All these things that we stated for information purposes and some of the things that we complained about, right? Is there a solution?
No.
I think there's a solution that if you do not have superstars, and what I mean by superstars are 2 or 3 guys, the caliber of Brunson, you must, and I mean absolute must, focus on having enough depth to the point where if you're starting 5, you have 3 stars go out, that your team is incapable of winning. So it would have been nice to get at least 2 more players of that Bogdanovich level to kind of help combat this. But now they know that, hey, we don't have superstars that can play a shoulder load for 82 games. We got to have depth, and we got to have depth that can compete should we have injuries. Because right now, they literally don't have bodies to go more than 7 deep. So it's a lesson learned. It's nothing they can change or reinforce this season, but in the future, they cannot be caught in this position.
Okay. All right. Well, that's all we got, everybody. Thank y'all for watching. Big Boss Man, thank you for rocking, man. The knowledge, man, is something, bro. We appreciate that.
Hey,
Hey,
all
hey,
from the
everybody,
team.
Nick's freestyle coming your way. At 7:30 ish. It depends on work schedules and all that stuff. So Nick's freestyle coming your way in a little while. We gonna holler at y'all. Check out Woodshed on X. If you want to be intellectually stimulated, check them out on X. Peace, everybody.